welcome back to another episode of Sit with Shy. I'm joined today by the lovely Alluria, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her Loc'd journey and hopefully provide us with some tips for those that are either on their journey or looking to start their journey. So before we go into that, can you briefly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I am Alluria. I've been locked since July 6th, 2018. So I'm coming up on 5 years. I'm also a licensed natural hairstylist and loctician. I've been doing locks since 2009. And yeah, and I kind of let it snowball and develop and grow and expand it into micro locks after I installed my own micro locks. I installed my own, I maintain my own, and I maintain a whole bunch of other people's now. So it's been a very
So you're like multi-talented. So you started them yourself and then also you do other people's. So how long did it actually take you to install your own locks?
It took me 5 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I was being lazy. So I definitely took a lot of breaks. I definitely paced myself. I was not just working 24-hour days, not at all.
Did you have like a specific method on how you did it? Like, did you have like a mirror behind you and like how was the setup when you did
Ooh,
it?
really the worst setup. That's probably why it took me 5 days, because I had a hand mirror and I had a mirror, and I had like a floor length mirror and a hand mirror. No, wait, no, just kidding. I had the floor length mirror and the mirror in my bathroom. So I would bring that in every time I wanted to change, go up a part. I would, it was really bad. It was a lot of back and forth walking because I was not gonna stay in the bathroom and do my hair. Not at all. Wasn't gonna.
I don't blame you. So like when you first finished installing your locks, like what was your first reaction once you saw your hair?
I was like, finally, I don't have to detangle my hair anymore. Thank God. And what else? I was like, it was like, because I had blow dried it. I blow dried my hair first. So it was really kind of straight-ish. But then like I was living in Miami, Florida at the time. And I went to the beach like 5 or 6 days later and I hopped in the ocean. And then when it came out curly, I was like, oh, okay, we can do this. This is fine.
So did you start enjoying your locks more once you saw the texture, your natural texture coming out, or like did you just trust the process to see whatever would happen?
Oh, I loved my locks from day one. I loved them the whole entire time. I love all of the transformation too. A lot of people get caught up in the curly look, which I roll my eyes nowadays, but I embraced it all. My hair is very naturally curly, but I was not going for a curly look. I just let my hair do what it does. And eventually it took maybe 2 years for my hair to start looking like locks. I was a little like sad about that. I was like, oh man, but I was excited about my hair developing into the locks that they are.
And they're really beautiful now, so I'm really happy to hear. There's a lot of ladies that I've heard that are really struggling at the moment with like the phase that they are with their locks and like how they look at the moment. What advice could you give them to like kind of embrace their hair as it stands right now?
I would say that your hair is glorious regardless. You don't have to compare yourselves. A lot of people compare their locks to other people's that they see online, and a lot of people compare their locks to mine and say, oh, I wish my hair. Don't do that. Your hair is beautiful, it's glorious, it's your crown. And comparison is the thief of joy. So don't compare what someone else has going on, because y'all don't know how much work it is to maintain this hair, okay?
So
I got a lot of hair, so don't be jealous. Be grateful sometimes, but also just stick with it. It's not, I think that a lot of women that do have issues with their journey are also dealing with a bit of an identity crisis as well, because we're Black women. We identify ourselves strongly. Our hair is our expression. Forget what India.Arie said. I am my hair. My hair is a reflection of me. I love India.Arie though, but it is me, you know, it is my creativity, it is my expression of self. And a lot of people, a lot of women, when they go from wigs and weaves and, you know, silk presses and doing things like that to locks, it's a harsh transition, you know, so it is hard. So I
Mhm.
don't think that they are going through a struggle phase or anything like that. It's just they're rearranging how they identify, and that image of themselves has changed.
It's so true, everything that you said. Even like, well, for me, I was really worried initially when I first started my locks about how other people would kind of like perceive me, especially in the workplace. And I did get a few stares in the beginning phase, but I
Mhm.
feel like because I was really confident and I tried to own it and just trust the process, then I came more confident in myself. Is that
Yeah.
how you felt when you first got yours as well?
No, I loved them. I loved them the whole time. I was always, because y'all don't understand. I have so much hair, and it was freedom for me, you know, and I wasn't a slave to my hair and having to constantly detangle it. And I'm tender headed.
Same.
So it was just like trying to detangle my hair, and I didn't trust anybody else with my hair because
Mhm.
I'm tender headed, and I was like, nope, I already have too much curly hair. And, you know, but getting my locks, I never really had any issues other than maintaining it when I started, and that
Mhm.
was a other monster.
How long
Oh,
does a usual retire usually take you?
when I'm doing a retire right now, I'm almost done. I'm
Oh,
on
really?
this other part. Um, but most of it's done. But I have to change my schedule, so my schedule had to change a lot with the longer that my hair got. So I had to
Yeah.
become more with my retires.
Mhm.
Honestly, listen now, do what I say, not as I do. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do not go too long without your maintenance. I go too
Mhm.
long without my maintenance, but I know how to get it back
Yeah.
and do all that. But I do my reties now. They're spaced out. I'm making sure that I'm doing them every 3 weeks now.
Mhm.
And even if it's not to the scalp retie, it's
Mhm.
just the maintenance control, because if it gets out of hand, then it spirals out of control. And right now it has spiraled out of control. So getting I'm reining it back in right now.
People that don't know about like how long you should wait and how long you should wait between reties, can you give them a bit of like advice? Like, how do you know when to get a retie and when not for people that are new?
Okay, so I usually recommend that you go based on the size of your locks, and also
Hmm.
your growth apart too. Usually our hair grows about a half an inch every month. So that gives you an idea of how much new growth you're going to have.
Yeah.
With that have smaller locks, you have to consider the longer you wait, the longer your retie is going to be, because you have to, you know, think, okay, so each of these locks have grown a half of an inch this month. So each of them are going to need a certain amount of time and a certain amount of rotations to get it retightened. When you have larger locks, a lot of my clients with the happy medium size, like you have the happy medium size that you can get a retie done in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And well, I don't know how your reties go yourself.
Long. Um, for me, because I'm still like mastering like how to do it myself, it takes a long
Oh,
time for me to do it. But I could get it done in a short amount of time if I was like really speedy.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So and also that plays a part in it too. So if you're self-maintaining, I let
Hmm.
everybody know, when you self-maintain, you can do it at any time. You don't have to wait a certain amount of time. You don't have to be on a specific schedule. Like if you just have some downtime, you're like, okay, my roots are getting a little long. Let me just start on a retie, a couple rows, and just do it as you go, so it doesn't seem so overbearing or overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I just think just stay on your schedule, like get a schedule, stick to it. Um, and if your schedule is, okay, every 3 weeks, I'm going to check my roots and see if, especially if you're newer and with the locks, but check your roots, see if there's anything that slipped out, correct it. If you're self-maintaining, if you have a loctician, just go to your loctician regularly, stay on schedule. And if you do have to space it out, let your loctician know. Um, but try to stick to your schedule and be as consistent with that schedule as possible.
Definitely agree. Do you think there's such a thing as like over retightening, like doing it too often? Is that a thing? Or
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any too much of anything can be a bad thing. That's why like when I do my reties, I do them at 3 weeks. I do not go super close to my root. I try not to over rotate because you will lose locks. You can cause alopecia. There's a lot of risks involved with that. And a lot of people are really, a lot of the, I've seen a few micro lock influencers that do over maintenance their hair because a lot of people are very obsessed with that very clean and neat look and the parts have to be great and all of that. And shoot, not me. These roots gonna be roots. Hey,
yeah.
But there's a risk involved with trying to maintain that perfect look. So do it at your own caution. Just be cautious about it. Be careful, but I don't recommend it.
Okay. Thank you for your insight. It's actually really helpful for those that are starting out and trying to learn bits and bobs. So thank you for that. But you have a lot of hair. What's your favorite style to do with your locks?
This.
I love that.
I am easily the laziest micro lock girly there is. I am not doing my hair. Or I'll rock a middle part as well. We'll do that too. But it's usually this or no. Okay, I'm lying. I love a braid out because I love listen. I don't even want to do curls. I don't do curls like that because I'm not sitting on a dryer that long, and also it's very uncomfortable. Like putting rollers in your hair is just, I hate it.
Yeah.
And the curls can fall. It could be just a mess. But with a braid out, it is the best thing. It has me in a chokehold for sure. Not even kidding. That is not an exaggeration. I take those braids out and I'm a brand new person. You cannot talk to me. You cannot don't even speak to me directly. Actually, don't even look at me. Just don't.
I'm in agreement with you.
I'm a brand new, I'm too Hollywood as soon as I take those braids out. But yeah. Sure.
What's your tip for a really good braid out? What would you advise?
I would say do it when your hair isn't soaking wet. Let it after, it could be right after a wash or the same day as a wash. Let it dry up a little bit before you braid it. You can also use or setting spray, not too much. I usually braid it and then put the mousse on top of the braids and then just let it dry. I have a in-home salon, so I can just sit under the dryer for like an hour and then go about my day. Just let it air dry for the most part though. And then if you braid it the right way, you can rock it as a style for a few days too, and then take it out. Really? So the longer you wait, the longer the curls will stay.
Do your curls last like your braid outs? Do they last a long time? Because with mine, when I do it, because my hair is quite heavy, they drop after like a day, even if I use mousse. So what do you think I should do maybe to hold them a bit longer?
You could, if you don't mind wearing the braids for a few days, make sure you can do your hair you can do it like right after the shower. So braid it nice and tight, and that'll keep the formation, because you do have a bit, your locks are a bit thicker than mine, so they would need a little bit more setting. So if you can put it in some braids right out of the shower and put maybe a little mousse on it or some kind of setting lotion, you should be good after you let them dry for a couple of days.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's been loads of debate. So I have sister locks. I know people have traditional locks, and then some have micro locks as well. And we've had loads of discussions about using products in our hair. For those that have micro locks or sister locks like we have, do you think we should be using products in our hair or only water?
Hold on. I don't want to get on my soapbox, but our hair is still hair. So our hair still needs moisture. I know there are a lot of people that are product free. I do not, that is not my ministry. I still condition my hair, especially with color. You definitely have to do that with color. Deep condition, I use a leave-in conditioner. I seal it with my shea butter, and everything. It's just, your hair needs the moisture. Forget all that extra stuff about no product, because your hair is still hair. It needs hydration for sure.
I agree.
All of that product stuff. Can we curse on this
Is there a
podcast?
specific no, go for it. Go for it.
I almost did. I was like, they can go to hell, because I'm not. Absolutely.
You'd be surprised. There's so much conversation that goes on about like products, using products, not using products.
Wait, you were breaking up a little bit.
There you go. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Sorry. I was saying that there's a lot of conversation about whether we should use product or not use product. So I'm glad to hear you talking about like moisture and hydration, especially if your hair is dyed, because it is true, we do need to replenish our hair with that moisture. So yeah.
Water won't cut it. Just water won't cut it. Water is what you use to hydrate, but the creams and the shea butter and all of that is what locks it in. Is there one that you would recommend that you use at the moment? What, Pure Honey, or like
any brand, any product? Like, what would you recommend using in your locks?
Well, I use my own. I use my own whipped shea butter and my own scalp oils. They're on Alluria B.com. But I also love this cream of nature. They have a new line out, Pure Honey. Amazing. It smells really, really good. I use that for my conditioner, and they have a leave-in cream as well. That would have to be my favorite one right now, because like after I colored my hair, I was terrified. I was like, okay, this might have been it for me. And I did a deep condition with that, and my hair just snapped right back. It just restored everything that it needed, and my hair went back to normal. So I was happy. Cream of Nature Pure Honey, and it's very inexpensive too.
Brilliant. So you mentioned your product as well, which is the whipped, did you say whipped shea butter or whipped? Okay. Can you tell us a bit more about your product? And I'll link it in the description as well, in case people want to buy it. So definitely. You're welcome.
Okay. So with my whipped shea butter, I have a few products actually. I have a hydrating mist, and a scalp mist, and a clarifying mist. So all of those, they serve different purposes. One is specifically for the locks, to keep them hydrated. All of my products are natural, and they're preserved, but they're very safe for the environment mainly, and also good for your hair. And they're here to replenish. They're made to replenish, and they're here to keep your hair healthy for the long run, because that's my main concern. I only care about hair health. The styling is fine, and that's great, but hair health is the most important thing to me, especially with my clients, and myself. I love locks, so I want to treat them lovingly, and that's what my products are like. And I do have a bunch of whipped shea butter, which is for hair and body, so it's not just for your hair. And I have scalp oils. It's a whole shebang. It's a lot, and they're really love, and I just like to share that, share that knowledge.
I appreciate you plugging your business and telling us about your products, because I really do like all natural products and stuff like that. So I will make sure to plug it in the description, and
Thank you.
Guys, make sure to buy it, please do. Are there any, so you've mentioned some of the pros about having locks in general. Do you think there's any cons, or would you say there are no cons?
Absolutely. There are. Especially, so if you self-maintain, that's the con in itself, because whose arms got time for that? I self-maintain my own as well. But that's just because it's kind of like a me time thing, and I just enjoy doing it. But it is very exhaustive work, and there's a lot of, cleaning up parts, and a lot of, making sure that you don't accidentally combine locks by mistake. And I've done that a couple times. And now my con right now is my hair has gotten so long that it is really easy to turn into a knot. So I loop it through and I make a knot, and I have to undo the knot, and that is very annoying. what's another con? I mean, the cons never outweigh the pros, though, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's any more right now. It's just mainly, oh, and a con could be if you don't self-maintain, a con could be the cost of it. You know, it can be very, it's an investment and it's a long-term investment. However, there are women that obviously invest in their hair all the time anyway. So that's not really a big deal or a big difference for a lot of people. It's kind of just like a lateral move. Um, but, you know, other than that, I don't think that there's too much cons about it other than, you know, just the maintenance
Yeah.
part of it.
I agree. And the time it takes to do it, as
That
you said, your arm burning, honestly. So, yeah.
that's it. Yeah, that's why I say if you self-maintain, stick to a schedule, but you also have the freedom to do it when you can. But try
Mhm.
to stick to a schedule. Like I am a tale of caution, okay?
Yeah.
Because I've fallen behind. I actually had to cut my locks off one time and reattach them
Oh no.
because they had gotten so out of whack and out of schedule. So this side is always a little shorter because I had to cut them and reattach them. So I
Yeah.
like the whole side I had to reinstall. It's crazy. So it's a little
Was that
shorter.
during lockdown that happened?
Hmm?
Was that during lockdown that happened? With the
Yeah, well, actually, it was a little bit before lockdown. And there was a lot going on in my personal life. I had just lost my brother, and I just wasn't trying to do my hair. I just didn't
yeah.
feel like it. It was just so tangled, and it was genuinely matted, you know. And mental health is a very important thing when it comes to locks. And one of the things that happens with me when my mental health starts to take a slope, self-care is the first thing that goes for me. So my hair out the window immediately. That's why I've been kind of looking for a loctician, but the way these folks are, never mind. I'm not even gonna, I don't even I don't even know. But no, I haven't found anyone yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. I'm optimistic,
Mhm.
but
So you
I think
mentioned
everything
like
will way.
you will find someone eventually. You just have to keep like trawling through and seeing. Yeah.
We'll see. I have a lot of hair. And my hair is long now too. I feel like when I'm doing my retime, I'm doing needlepoint. Like it's just like
Yeah.
looping, and like it's a lot. But I mean, I'm happy. I love my hair, but oh gosh,
Yeah.
I didn't. Hey, still like it's a lot of work. Definitely a lot of work.
So even when you was a loose natural, did you have a lot of hair as well? Like
Hmm.
really big. Hmm.
And I
So
always have.
so when people are about to like install their locks, is that kind of like an indicator how your hair kind of looks when it's like a loose natural, kind of what it would be like in its locked form in terms of thickness and things like that? Or not
Yes.
really? Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good indicator. It usually thickens up, but I think a lot of people are expecting like a lion's mane when they don't have the kind of for it, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I compare your locks because you know your hair is going to be amazing. It's going to be glorious no matter how it is, and or how thick it is or how big it is. But if you do want volume, make sure you go smaller in the lock size. You can't have big locks or like larger micro locks and have a lot of volume. So the smaller you go, the more volume you.
You've given us a tip there. Thank you.
No
I,
problem.
I wanted to ask as well, you mentioned about like locks and mental health. Do you think there's a connection between our hair and like our inner selves? If so, can you explain that a bit more?
Absolutely. So in my consultations, I explain that to my clients and potential clients that um, our identity as Black women is swept up in our appearance because we always have to be on point. We can't leave anywhere looking any kind of way just because of the pressures, and we just have to always be together. There's no off days. You know, when it comes to that, you have to step out at operating as your best self and looking your best self. You know, you don't always feel like it, and that's okay. But also, as Black women, like, y'all understand that it's a different kind of pressure, and I think that getting locks helped a lot of women's mental health because it relieved that pressure because your hair is done all the time. Even when it's not done, it looks done. So, and then you're still going to get compliments on your hair. You're still going to get that affirmation that your hair looks great. It looks amazing. And I think that you don't have to worry about, especially like with loose naturals, you don't have to worry about detangling and making sure that your hair is dry by the time you finish, or by the time your event is. And if it's not dry, are you going to have an attitude? Are you even going to go? Because I would cancel plans. Like if my braid out didn't turn out right, I'm not coming. I am not coming. And like with my locks, if my braid out doesn't turn out right, I'm still gonna go. My locks are fine. I don't care. But I think that locks definitely contributed to a lot of women's mental health increasing. Like during the pandemic, we got a chance to take a break from doing our hair. We got a chance to relax and not have to do it. And then when the world started opening back up, women were like, there was such an uptick in women getting locks because of that. They were like, hell, I just want to, I don't want to have to do my damn hair. That was great, And then, they started seeing micro locks and they started kind of making their way through, and it just kind of blossomed and it snowballed into something great. So I'm glad so many women chose locks because they're amazing.
They actually are. They really are. And as you said, it's this movement happening where more people are embracing their natural hair in general, not even just locks, but like just what actually grows out of their scalp. It's really nice to see. Yeah,
exactly.
Would you say that or would you say that there's a community that you found with people that have locks or like natural hair? Is there a massive like Loc'd community where you guys are at the moment?
Well, I'm in Houston, Texas, and yeah, there's a lot of women with locks. Community, I can't really speak on that because I'm an introvert and I barely leave the house. But I am working on that, and I'm also a workaholic. So I'm kind of the wrong person to ask. But when you do see a woman out with locks, it's like that. When you see a Black person out, like very snowball places, you just like give that nod, like, hey, what's up? Even if their hair isn't done, I'm like, I see you, locks, sister, or your hair is beautiful. It's because locks are it. Locks are their answer to me. They are the answer. Really are.
When was like the defining moment for you when you knew that you were gonna become Loc'd? So you was natural for a long period of time. When did you know that you wanted to become Loc'd?
When I was living in Miami and the humidity was disrespecting my hair at every turn, I was like, absolutely not. What can I do? And it was horrible. I was like, okay, we're done here. I was very upset. I tried to dye my hair, and it was in autumn. It was autumn time, so it was no reason for my hair to be frizzy, but the humidity just not let me be great. So I was like, no, I'm thinking about locks. And then, I was shopping around. I started some locks before, and they were traditional locks, so I wasn't really happy with them. So I took those out, and then by July, I made up my mind for sure. I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to lock my hair, and that's what I did. I took off work, and for 5 days straight, I just did my. It's horrible. I'll never do it again. I was fighting for my life. I was like, and the crazy thing was, I started interlocking, and I have a few locks here and there somewhere in my head that were interlocked, maybe like this one, like this first one. So it was interlocked all the way down, and it looks a little different than my other ones. It's just straight and cylindrical, it's no extra. But it took me 7 minutes to do it. I timed myself because I was like, this took so long. So I timed myself one go around, and I saw I said 7 minutes. I was like, oh, absolutely not. And I started 2-strand twisting. I give up. Absolutely not. No. It was taking me months if I would
Yeah.
have had an interlock. It was okay. And as small as I was making them, oh my God.
Oh, I've been there for a long time. Yeah.
It was horrible. Terrible.
I'm looking at your hair now. Do you have curly ends on some of them, or are they fully locked to the
Yeah,
bottoms?
some of them have curls. Like I have a few, but I never prioritize curly ends. I just let them do what they do. And
Mhm.
some locks, some don't. That's They just do whatever.
I only asked because I was watching a video not long ago, and they was discussing like curly ends or not having curly ends. Does it impact the health of your hair if you like unpick it, for example? Because I know people that do that. Yeah.
Yes, it does, and I hate it so much. I stop. I really do. Um, Honestly, there's been a lot of texturism that's found its way into the lock community, and that really pisses me off because locks were for us. You know,
Mhm.
texturism came about, and I don't think people realize it's a lot of white supremacy involved in texturism because of the whole good hair movement and all this. You know, your hair has to be a certain texture for it to be beautiful and good, which all black hair is good to me, but
Yeah.
to start bringing it into the lock community really pisses me off because there are women that want hair that looks curly and they don't have curly hair, and now they feel like their locks aren't as beautiful because they don't have curly ends, and I think that is stupid as hell, and I
Mhm.
wish that they wouldn't have done that. And combing your ends out is stupid because they're locks. Your
Yeah.
locks, the reason why your locks look the way they look is because they they have the thickness is because it's dead hair or shed hair that stayed in the lock. So if you're combing the ends out, you're pulling out that hair. So all the girls that are doing it right now, check back
Yeah.
at them a couple of years, in about 3 or 4 years, and see how straggly their ends look. Or
Yeah.
they plateau in their locks as well. Their
Mhm.
locks might grow to the length that they want to grow because they're combing them out. But I let people be great, but I just want them to know that it's rooted in white supremacy and they're contributing to it. Locks were made for us, and
Mm.
I they are supposed to be beautiful in all ways that they can. And don't get me
Yeah.
started on track hair to the ends. I I
People
almost
do
call
that.
yes. People are
Oh,
putting at the end of locks now, girl.
but what do you mean? Like just like curly? What do you mean?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
well.
exactly that. They're crocheting curly ends, or like they're crocheting, they're trying to give that effect. And I'm just like, I wish I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for your insight on that. I didn't even know that was a thing, so I'm glad.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either until, people started doing it. I'm just like, gosh, really? I just
Yeah.
want better. I want better for everybody.
Do you think that there's a lot of representation with women who have either locks or natural hair in Hollywood or in media? If so, can you think of any that come to mind?
Lupita Nyong'o for sure. Chloe and
Hmm.
Halle. Um, Let me see who else. Issa Rae, she used to rock some very amazing hairstyles on Insecure. Oh my gosh, whoever her stylist was, it was every time it gave. Um, I think there could be more.
Yeah.
But it seems like anytime they use a darker skinned woman, they make her hair natural. Um,
Mm.
and then usually with the lighter complected women, they have their hair in like silky straight or something like
Yeah.
that. I've a lot of parallels with that. Um,
Hmm.
Depending on the show though, you see some people, some darker skinned women that do have the bundles and the bust downs and that's fine. But yeah, I
Hmm.
wish I wish everybody was natural, honestly. I just wish we just embraced that. But I'm biased, so I'm
Do you
biased.
think we will
Heavily.
eventually get to a point where that is a thing?
No,
No, never.
no, I don't think so. I don't think there are a lot of um, Black contributors in Hollywood that could make that happen. Black directors, not enough Black casting directors that are also okay with natural hair, you know, because there are some casting directors that go for a certain look. Like if you just look at how Hollywood is, more often than not in shows and movies and stuff, the darker skinned person is the villain, lighter skinned person is the protagonist, and it's ghetto. But I just whatever. But that's a lot to unpack, you know?
No, it's true. It's so true. Do you think that if there were more natural haired or locked women within media, because like I work with a lot of young people, do you think that would like positively influence young Black women or women of color that are trying to like embrace their natural hair?
Absolutely. I think leading by example is the most important thing. I think that girls should know that their hair is beautiful and it's going to be beautiful the way it comes out of their scalp naturally. They don't have to do all of this extra stuff to feel pretty, and to see a woman that embraces her beauty as is and embraces her hair as is and comfortable leaving the house with natural hair and or her locks or whatever. I think that will definitely inspire young girls. I never had a relaxer. Well, I did one in high school, but I cut off my hair and had a mohawk, but that was a whole thing. Other than that, my mom never really did that. We didn't have perms or relaxers in our head. So that was never something that would occur to me. So if you make it something not normal, then it won't be normalized, you know.
True. Yeah.
Just whoever you can affect and inspire around you, do it for sure.
Yeah. I think that you're a positive influence on Instagram, especially for younger women that are trying to embrace their natural hair, because it's nice to see someone that's actually like pro, like keep the hair on your scalp and all these different kind of things. So I just wanted to thank you for what you do in your channel. It's really positive.
I'm barely on there, but I'm trying. I disappear a lot.
You post regularly though. You update us, which is good. I appreciate. You do stories and stuff.
Every few months. I will. And that's bad because a lot of people, they're like, you should post more often. I'm like, I don't want to. I choose me, honestly.
Yeah.
Social media is not my life. I enjoy it for the inspiration that it can give me and all of that, but to make it like a full-time gig, that's a lot of pressure. You know, I don't want to be on all the time. I want to have my days where I don't broadcast everything that's going on in my life or feel pressured to do it, you know? Oh, you froze. Shucks. Ruh-roh. Hello? No. Oh no, what's going on? Me either.
My laptop is freaking out. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You can hear me clearly now though?
I can,
Okay.
yes.
Awesome. I don't remember what we were saying.
Me either, darn.
Oh man.
Oh, social media. I mean, I don't want to have the pressure of having to be a content creator all the time. I don't want to make that my life. I don't want to videotape everything that I'm doing. And I know that you can specialize your content, all that, but if I do, I would be, that's too much for me. I mean, and like I said, I choose me. I love myself more than I could ever love social media or, you know, being connected. I like to disconnect a lot. Because like I said, I'm an introvert and I get anxious and overwhelmed with a lot of stuff because I do get a lot of messages and a lot of texts and then a lot of calls and then a lot of people asking me questions. And I stopped looking at my DMs. I turned the notifications because they were making me too anxious and too Just too much. It was just too much for me. So I'm a terrible influencer, absolutely terrible.
Well, I just want to say thank you, honestly, for taking the time out. Like, even though you have a lot of messages, for even responding and coming on to my podcast, it really means a lot. So thank
Of
you.
course. I always prep a podcast.
So I think, to conclude, if you had to leave people with like a final message to like kind of encourage them to continue on their Loc journey, what would you say?
I would say, I know it's cliche, but trust the process. Your hair is beautiful, and it will always be beautiful because it's yours. Um, don't compare your hair to anyone else's except your hair from the year before or the day before. Take lots of pictures of your journey, because it looks like you're standing still, but you could really be doing a lot of growth, and there's a lot happening in the time that you think nothing is happening. So just enjoy the process. Take care of your hair, treat your body lovingly, and treat your crown lovingly, because it's yours. And you know, just love it. Just love it.
All right, guys, thank you. Let's thank her again for coming on to the channel. It's been great having you on here, and
Thank
I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.
you.